Sip and Talkers, wherever you are, welcome back to Sip and Talk.
And welcome, everyone.
You know, I was trying to have a perfect morning today.
Oh, yeah. How'd it go?
Well, I get my coffee, I'm scrolling through my phone, and then I see a comment under one of my posts from a complete stranger.
Oh.
It just said, "Can you please say something with content for once?"
Wow. Okay.
And I'm just thinking, you know, this person must have woken up on the wrong side of the bed. I mean, where's the fire? When do I not have content? I'm a treasure trove of content.
Right. I mean, if you don't have content, then I think a lot of educational shows just need to, pack up and go home. That's just absurd.
But here's the funny thing, and this is what gets me. If you actually reply to that person just once,
Yep.
it's like they've suddenly been given their life's mission. They will come back at you with 10 replies for your one.
Oh, the return on investment for them is, it's astronomical.
It's insane. You say one thing, they say 10. They're making a huge profit on your emotional energy.
Totally. And the more you reply, the more they feel like, I got noticed. They go from being some random background character, an NPC on the street, to the main story boss.
Yeah.
Instantly. Just because you engaged.
You've got to be careful not to take it too personally. Have you ever heard of the straw man fallacy?
I have, but break it down. Because
Yeah.
I think this is exactly what's happening.
It is. It's the troll's favorite weapon. So a straw man is when someone takes your actual point, your nuanced argument.
Right.
And they twist it into something completely ridiculous and extreme. And then they attack that ridiculous version, not what you actually said.
They build an argument they know they can win.
Precisely. So let's say we're talking about a complex topic on the show. We might say something like, we should discuss the impact of AI on democracy.
Okay, a reasonable topic.
If troll immediately jumps in and says, oh, so you people just want to ban all AI, you don't understand technology.
Right. But we never, ever said ban AI. We said discuss the impact. But they're not arguing with what you said. They built this flimsy, easy-to-knock-over straw man, this idea of banning AI, and then they set it on fire and declare victory.
It's so frustrating. Give me another one, a more, everyday example.
Okay, so you say, I think we should try to reduce our use of plastic bags.
A pretty common sentiment.
Their reply, so you want everyone to carry their groceries home in their bare hands. That's disgusting.
Classic. They take a small, reasonable suggestion and just blow it up into something completely impractical and extreme.
It happens with politics all the time. Someone might say, maybe we should discuss raising pay for our soldiers.
And the troll response is,
oh, so you want to give the entire national budget to the military and bankrupt the country?
it's completely manufactured. It has nothing to do with the original point. It's just a trap.
It's a trap. And, even if you say, I'm not going to reply to trolls,
They'll say,
see, you're not replying because you know you're wrong. You're guilty. It's a no-win situation.
but I'm still a little annoyed. I mean, my content is good.
I know. But look, it's not just you. We get messages from listeners all the time, especially some of our listeners in Taiwan.
Right.
They ask us how to respond to these cross-sea trolls, as they call them. People who just show up to criticize their society, like with the recent incident with the tour group in Italy.
Oh, yeah, the pizza thing. It just felt like they were arguing for the sake of arguing.
Exactly. So the big question is, what should we do?
And today, on Sip and Talk, we're going to dive into exactly that. We're going to explore the practical, psychological, and frankly, geopolitical reasons why you don't need to and you shouldn't argue with trolls.
This is your emotional cost-benefit analysis for the digital age.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, these people aren't looking for a discussion. They're just venting.
And if you reply, you're essentially paying their emotional management fee. All right, let's get into it. Today's deep dive, fighting trolls. That's their favorite hobby.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with the basic numbers here. The core math of why this is such a bad deal for us. We're calling this the asymmetric warfare concept.
That sounds intense. What do you mean by asymmetric?
I mean, the whole setup is unequal. It's skewed completely in the troll's favor from the very beginning.
The battlefield isn't level.
Not at all. The cost, and we're talking time, emotional energy, your attention, it's almost entirely paid by the person acting in good faith. By you.
Okay, so let's break that down. What are the costs to us, the rational party in this exchange?
Well, the most obvious one is just time. The time costs.
Right.
Imagine a troll just throws out some random, completely false claim, about economics or history or whatever.
Something that sounds vaguely plausible but is totally wrong.
Exactly. And you feel this obligation to correct them.
Of course. You want the truth to be out there.
So what do? You open a new browser tab, you start searching for data, you're cross-referencing sources, you're trying to find a government report or a credible study.
And you have to be sure your source is solid, otherwise they'll just attack that.
Then you have to carefully write this, measured, polite, well-reasoned response.
And that whole process could take you, what, 15, 20 minutes? Maybe an hour if it's a complicated topic?
An hour of your life to respond to a 2-sentence comment that was probably based on nothing.
And took them 5 seconds to type. That is the asymmetry right there.
It's also, what's that term? It's weaponizing cognitive load theory.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more.
Your brain is using a huge amount of its working memory, its cognitive resources, to fact-check their nonsense.
Meanwhile, their cognitive load is basically zero. They're just generating noise.
Right. You're investing high-quality mental processing power, and they're just throwing junk food at you.
But it goes deeper than just time and mental effort, doesn't it? There's a real emotional cost.
A huge one. The emotional labor and the physiological toll. Arguing online is incredibly stressful.
Even if you know you're right.
Especially if you know you're right. When someone attacks you or your ideas, your brain, your sort of ancient lizard brain, it doesn't really know the difference between a keyboard warrior and, a tiger jumping out of the bushes.
It just registers threat.
And it triggers that fight or flight response. Your body gets flooded with cortisol, adrenaline, the stress hormones.
So this isn't just about feeling annoyed for a few minutes. We're talking about a measurable physical reaction.
We are. And when you're constantly engaged in these online battles, you can have chronically high cortisol levels.
And that's
Yeah.
That's bad for your health long term.
It's terrible. It's linked to anxiety, burnout. It weakens your immune system. It can even cause chronic inflammation. You are literally damaging your physical health to prove a point to a stranger who doesn't care.
Wow. When you put it like that, it sounds like a ridiculously bad trade.
It is. And we actually have data on this. We looked at a study from 2023.
Okay.
They measured participant satisfaction, so how people felt about their day, their life, whatever, before and after engaging with trolls online.
And what did they find?
They found that satisfaction dropped by an average of 30% after an argument with a troll.
30%. That's a massive hit to your happiness.
Just for trying to correct someone on the internet.
So what about the people who just ignored the comment?
Their satisfaction levels remained completely stable, didn't move an inch.
The proof is right there in the numbers. Engaging is bad for you. Ignoring protects you.
It's a self-care mechanism. And that brings up the last cost, which is the opportunity cost.
Meaning what you could have been doing with that time instead.
Exactly. Every single minute you spend drafting that perfect data-backed rebuttal.
Is a minute you're not spending on something productive.
Or positive. You could be creating new content, talking to your actual supporters, or just, living your life. Going for a walk, reading a book.
You're sacrificing a positive moment in your life for a negative one.
That's it. So, okay. We've established our costs are huge. High time cost, high emotional cost, high opportunity cost.
A losing proposition for us.
And let's flip it. What's the cost?
Yep.
And what's the benefit for the troll?
Well, their cost is basically nothing. It's near zero. 5 seconds of typing.
Yeah.
Maybe they just copy and paste something. Their investment is, let's say, $1 of effort.
And their benefit?
Maximum satisfaction. The second you reply, they've won. They get a $100 satisfaction payout.
Because their goal was just to get a reaction.
Their goal was to annoy you, to waste your time, to make you feel bad. Your reply is the confirmation that their tactic worked. It's a hit of dopamine for them.
So we are literally trading our emotional gold for their digital garbage.
That's a perfect way to put it. And you see this play out all the time. Think about those endless political debates on social media.
Oh, God.
You see someone spend half an hour digging up GDP figures and unemployment stats from 3 different official reports.
Meticulously citing their sources.
Only for the other person to just reply, fake news, or that's globalist propaganda.
Or, and this is the worst one, they just delete their original comment.
Oh, that is the master move of malice, isn't it?
It is. Because you've spent all this energy proving them wrong, and they just, poof, vanish the evidence.
Yeah.
And now you're left there looking like a crazy person, arguing with nothing.
All your work is just gone, invalidated. Because their goal was never to find the truth. It was just to start a fire.
You mentioned a celebrity case earlier, the Taiwanese celebrity Xiao S.
Yes, that's a perfect real-world example of this whole dynamic. She was facing just intense public criticism. Body shaming, attacks on her career, everything.
So what was her first instinct?
The rational person's instinct? She tried to explain herself. She wrote these long posts defending her choices, trying to logically address the criticism.
And how did that work out?
It was a disaster. It just amplified the whole thing. The trolls had more material to work with. The algorithm saw all the high engagement.
And pushed the negative comments to the top of everyone's feed.
Exactly. Her defense actually made the attacks more visible. It was completely self-defeating.
So what did she do?
She pivoted. She just stopped. She switched her strategy to ignoring them completely. No replies, no defenses, no acknowledgments at all.
And what happened then?
Two things. First, her real fans rallied around her, defending her without her even having to ask. And second, the criticism just lost its energy.
It didn't have her reaction to feed on.
Right. It sank to the bottom of the comments section where the algorithm would bury it. It was a brilliant strategic move.
So ignoring them wasn't weakness.
It was a high-level strategy to protect her career and her sanity. She stopped trading her gold for their garbage.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Which I guess brings us to the psychology of it all. Why are they like this?
Right, that's the next big piece. We have to understand that this whole thing is built on a fundamental goal mismatch.
A goal mismatch.
We go into a conversation assuming everyone is there in good faith. You know, we're looking for facts, for understanding, maybe to change our minds.
We're looking for a discussion.
They are looking for a reaction. They want validation. They want to feel powerful. They're playing a completely different game.
Which leads to this idea you mentioned of negative attention as a drug.
Exactly. Any response you give them, even an angry one, even a factual correction, it's a reward. It's a little hit of validation that reinforces their behavior.
So they get addicted to provoking people.
In a way, yes. They don't care if you're praising them or screaming at them. They just care that they made you expend emotional energy on them. That's the proof that they matter.
So once you realize that their goal isn't truth, it's just a reaction.
Arguing with them becomes pointless. It's like trying to put out a fire by pouring gasoline on it. You're just giving them exactly what they want.
So maybe it helps to understand the different flavors of trolls out there, like a troll taxonomy.
I love that, a troll taxonomy. Okay, first up, you have the emotional venter.
The person who's just having a really bad day.
A really bad day or a really bad life. They're full of stress from their job or money problems or whatever, and the internet is their free, anonymous punching bag.
They want to make everyone else as miserable as they are.
Precisely. And arguing with them is totally useless because they're not looking for a solution. They're looking for an outlet. Your logical argument doesn't calm them down. It gets them more excited. It makes the release of all that negative energy feel even better.
Okay, so that's type 1. What's next?
Next, you have the contrarian, the always opposed type.
Oh, I know this one. The person whose entire personality is just disagreeing with whatever is popular.
Yes. They need to feel special, like they have some secret knowledge that the rest of us sheep don't.
So they'll use some tiny outlier example to try and disprove a huge, well-established fact.
Exactly. You'll be talking about the overwhelming scientific consensus on an issue, and they'll pop up with, well, I read one article that said the opposite.
They're ignoring the mountain of evidence to focus on the one pebble that supports their need to be different.
It's all about elevating their own status. They want to look like a brave, independent thinker.
All right. Who's the third type?
This one can be really damaging. It's the moral crusader.
The person on the moral high horse.
A very high horse. They appoint themselves judge, jury, and executioner, and their main goal is to judge other people, especially victims.
This is the person who blames the victim in every situation, isn't it?
Every single time. Someone will post, hey everyone, I got scammed online, be careful of this, and the moral crusader swoops in.
To say what?
How could you be so stupid? I would never fall for that. You should have checked the facts. It's your own fault.
It's a way for them to feel superior, to tell themselves, I'm smarter than them, so that would never happen to me.
It's a defense mechanism.
Oh.
They're projecting their own insecurities by judging others.
Okay, this is a good list. Is there a final type?
One more, and this one is just deeply annoying. The pedantic nitpicker.
The well actually guy.
The well actually guy. This is the knowledge troll. They will completely ignore the main point of your content, the value you're providing.
To focus on one tiny, insignificant mistake.
Exactly. You could post a fascinating story about space, and you mention the moon is about 380,000 kilometers away.
And they'll come in with...
Excuse me. The precise figure is 384,400 kilometers. How can you be trusted if you can't get basic facts right?
They're completely missing the forest for the trees.
Because they can't argue with your main idea, your forest. So they try to discredit you by pointing out a single leaf is out of place. It's another status play.
And the really insidious part of all this is that the social media platforms themselves are, like, helping them.
They're not just helping, they're actively rewarding this behavior.
Yeah.
The algorithms are fueling the fire.
Because all they care about is engagement.
Controversy drives engagement. Clicks, shares, replies, arguments.
Yeah.
That's gold to the algorithm.
So when you get into a big, heated argument with a troll,
the algorithm sees that intense back and forth and thinks, wow, this is valuable content.
And it pushes that negative comment right to the top of the feed for everyone to see.
So by arguing, you're literally giving the troll free advertising. You're using your own energy to amplify the negativity that's stressing you out.
It's a completely broken system.
It's a self-defeating system, which is why we need to change our entire perspective on what's actually happening out there.
Okay, so this feels like a good place to shift gears. Because so far, we've been talking about trolls as, individual people.
Right. Annoying, sad, pedantic individuals. But we have to make a huge shift now. We've entered the era of what I'd call the AI shock.
The AI shock.
The troll you're arguing with.
Yeah.
They might not be human.
That is a really chilling thought. We're not just talking about individual sadists anymore. We're talking about systematic, organized operations.
And the numbers back this up. We saw a report from 2024. It said that automated bot traffic now makes up 51% of all global internet traffic.
Wait, say that again?
51%. Bots are now the majority on the internet.
So more than half of the users online aren't users at all, they're machines.
And that was before the recent explosion in large language models in generative AI.
Which makes everything exponentially worse.
Exactly. A few years ago, bots were clunky. They were easy to spot, repetitive, bad grammar. But now, with LLMs, the cost of generating thousands of high-quality, emotionally charged, unique-sounding fake comments is basically zero.
So one person or one system can instantly create what looks like an army of angry citizens.
Which brings us to this thing called the 100 comments phenomenon.
Okay, what's that?
It's when you see a post on a controversial topic, and within minutes, 100 similar but not identical negative comments suddenly appear.
That's not a coincidence.
No. That is a hallmark of what security analysts call coordinated inauthentic behavior, or CIB.
Coordinated inauthentic behavior. So it's not a real grassroots outcry. It's manufactured.
It's completely manufactured. It's an AI or a bot network that's been given a prompt like, attack this policy using language about freedom. And it just generates hundreds of variations on that theme.
And this is happening at a scale that's impossible for humans to keep up with.
The scale is staggering. One analysis showed that over 41% of long posts on Facebook this year were AI generated. That's more than a fourfold increase from last year.
Wow. And the goal of all this is something called astroturfing, right?
Yes. Astroturfing is when you create the illusion of widespread, grassroots support for something, when really it's all coming from one single sponsored source.
They're trying to create a false consensus.
A false consensus.
Yeah.
Because if you, an average person, scroll through a comment section and see 100 comments all saying the same extreme thing.
You start to think, wow, maybe everyone believes this. Maybe I'm the weird one.
Exactly. It exploits a psychological bias we all have. We overestimate the importance of information that's easily available to us. If the comment section is full of toxic views, our brain tricks us into thinking those views represent the majority.
And that's how they skew public perception and just destroy any chance of a real debate.
And this is where it gets really serious when we talk about those cross-sea trolls and ideological warfare.
This isn't just about being annoying anymore. This is geopolitical.
This is geopolitical. We're talking about organized, task-driven networks. Security groups at places like Google have documented these networks with names like Dragon Bridge or Spamiflage.
Their goal isn't just to get a reaction from one person. They're carrying out what you'd call cognitive warfare.
Cognitive warfare. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's very real. And they have very specific strategic goals.
What are they?
Well, first, they want to manufacture division. They find the existing fault lines in a society, political divides, generational gaps.
And they pour gasoline on them.
Massive amounts of digital gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
They use extreme rhetoric to make compromise look impossible, to make the other side look monstrous. The goal is paralysis.
Right, okay, that's goal one. What's number two?
Information fatigue.
Information fatigue.
They just flood the zone. Constant negativity, wild accusations, toxic content, just sheer volume. They drown out the real conversations with noise.
Until people just get exhausted.
Exactly. The average person gets overwhelmed, they feel like it's all just pointless screaming, and they check out. They become apathetic.
It's an emotional siege. If they can make you too tired to think critically, they've won.
And there's a third objective, and this one is just kind of mind-blowing.
Go on.
Sometimes it's just about brushing their KPI.
Their what?
Their key performance indicators, their work quota.
What are you talking about?
We have to remember who or what we might be arguing with. It might be an outsourced worker in a content farm, or in some documented cases, even someone in a prison labor system who is getting paid per post.
Wait, seriously, so the person calling me an idiot online might just be trying to hit their daily quota of comments?
They might be getting paid 10 cents a comment. You are pouring your heart and soul into a logical rebuttal against someone who is literally just clocking in at work.
You can't win a debate with someone who's getting paid to disagree with you.
You can't. You're not having an intellectual exchange. You're arguing with a task taker or an algorithm that's just executing code.
This makes the whole thing feel so much more sinister. It's not just trolling, it's a potential national security threat.
It is being treated as a national security threat. In the US, the EU, all over the democratic world, this is now seen as a serious strategic attack on civil society.
So what's the scale of the defense against this?
Well, let's look at a place on the front lines, like Taiwan. Their National Security Bureau reported that in the first half of 2024 alone, they detected 2.15 million fake messages.
2 million.
And
6 months.
And that was a 60% increase from the period before. It shows you the exponential growth of these operations. They're trying to stop the very fabric of their democracy from being torn apart by fake content.
That number, it's just staggering. It really puts my one little troll comment into perspective.
And that's where we're seeing these big international frameworks being built, like the EU's Digital Services Act.
What does that do?
It legally requires the big platforms, Facebook, X, all of them, to actively police and remove this kind of coordinated, inauthentic behavior. It puts the responsibility on them.
So, to bring it all back to our listener, every time you spend half an hour arguing with one of these anonymous accounts,
you could be giving your free emotional labor to a hostile, organized influence operation that is designed to create chaos.
The act of ignoring a troll is more than just protecting your own feelings.
It's an act of digital resilience. It's a defense of our shared informational space.
Okay, so arguing is a losing game. We're fighting ghosts and machines, so how do we win?
We win by reframing the whole thing. We have to start seeing silence as a high strategy.
Not weakness, not avoidance.
Intelligent investment. You are choosing to allocate your most precious resources, your time, your attention, your emotional health, away from a guaranteed loss and towards something productive.
Let's give our listeners a checklist, a final defense plan. Let's call it the 3 non-principles.
I like it. Okay. Principle number 1, don't feed the troll.
And you mean zero interaction?
Complete zero. No reply, no like, no angry emoji, nothing. The absolute best move, if the platform allows it, is to block them, hide their comment, or just mute the entire conversation.
You have to cut off their fuel supply, which is your attention.
Exactly. You starve them. And if they get no reaction from you, their motivation to attack you specifically just evaporates. They'll move on to an easier target.
Okay, that's number 1. What's the second non-principle?
Principle number 2, don't internalize. And this is the hardest one.
This is the emotional boundary setting.
Yes, you have to actively remind yourself that their malice, their criticism, it's a projection. It's about their internal state or their work quota or their geopolitical objective.
It has nothing to do with you or the quality of your work.
Nothing. If a state-sponsored bot calls your content garbage, you have to treat it like a car alarm going off down the street. It's just background noise. It tells you everything about the car and nothing about you.
You have to create that psychological distance.
And studies have shown that people who make a habit of this, of ignoring that low-value negative feedback, their overall happiness actually increases over time. There's a real quantifiable reward for it.
Okay. Don't feed, don't internalize. What's the third and final principle?
Principle number 3. Don't dwell.
The post-exposure cleanup.
Exactly. Even if you just see a really nasty comment, you have to practice immediate attention transfer.
To avoid what you called emotional ruminating.
Yes. Ruminating is when you just play the negative comment over and over in your head. You think about all the clever comebacks you should have said.
Which just drains your mental battery for hours.
And keeps your cortisol levels high. So the moment you see it, you have to pivot hard. Close the app, go for a walk, call a friend, start working on your next piece of positive content.
You interrupt the cycle.
You have to. And the beauty of this whole strategy of not feeding, not internalizing, and not dwelling, is that the algorithms reward you for it.
How so?
Well, we said that interaction boosts a comment's visibility. So organized non-interaction does the opposite. If you and your community consistently ignore a troll's comment, it gets 0 engagement signals for the algorithm.
So it just sinks.
It sinks to the bottom and gets buried. You completely neutralize its influence without firing a single shot, without spending a single drop of emotional energy.
That is the ultimate victory.
It is. Now, I know some people will ask about, legal options. Can't you sue them?
Right, for defamation or something?
And yes, in many places, those laws exist. But we have to apply our cost-benefit analysis here, too.
Is it worth it?
For the average troll, almost never. The financial cost of a lawsuit, the sheer amount of time it takes, the mental energy of having to relive the whole thing in depositions.
It's just another way for them to consume your life and your resources.
Another high-cost, low-benefit trap.
Ah.
So, unless it's a true, credible threat to your safety, the best route is to ignore.
Which brings us to the final move, the smart pivot.
The smart pivot. You take all that energy you saved by not arguing.
And you immediately reinvest it into something positive.
Exactly. Instead of spending 30 minutes fact-checking a troll, spend that time replying to 5 of your actual supporters or drafting your next great idea.
You replace a zero-sum game with a positive-sum game.
You stop engaging with the digital garbage, which allows you to spend all your time polishing the digital gold.
Wow. We've gone from a single annoying comment all the way to geopolitical cognitive warfare and AI botnets. That was a lot.
It's the world we live in now.
Okay.
And our final thought has to be this. Arguing with a troll in this day and age is the equivalent of exchanging gold for garbage.
You're trading your most valuable assets. Your time, your emotion, your focus for something that gives you absolutely nothing back.
Yeah, and it actually strengthens the negative forces, whether that's one sad person or an entire state-sponsored operation.
So ignoring them isn't passive. It's a powerful strategic act of self-investment. It's resource management.
It is. And we just want to encourage all of you listening to hold on to your critical thinking. Learn to recognize when you're being pulled into an emotional trap or a strategic one. Your ability to filter out the noise is your most important skill in this new digital age.
Absolutely. And just to be completely clear, everything we've talked about today is based on objective research into these tactics. We're not criticizing any specific group or country. We're just analyzing the mechanics of these influence operations so that you can stay informed and resilient.
And if you found this conversation helpful, please be sure to subscribe to Sip and Talk wherever you get your shows.
And hey, if you need a serious palate cleanser after all this talk of bots and cortisol,
I think we all do.
You should definitely go check out our friend Mickey's YouTube channel. It's called Mickytolife. It's full of fun memes, amazing travel vlogs. It's the perfect antidote to information fatigue.
It really is. A great channel.
We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.